Hey guys, Carl from Minuteman Homestead. I am back. I was called out by Diversified Homestead, Scott and Amber, to state 30 random facts about us, Dawn and I. And it'll take me a little while to do it, but I got some of it down, but it's going to take me a couple of days to finish this. Everybody knows Dawn just went through surgery, so I'm going to do her part for her. Talked to her about it this morning. She's got this neck brace on. She can't lift more than 5 pounds. She can't do anything. I'm trying to do everything for her and do everything I need to do out here. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and do the 30 random facts. Alright, here we go. Fact. It's going to be both Dawn and I. I was born and raised in Marrero, Louisiana. Dawn, which her correct full birth name is Dawnine, was born and raised in Marrero, Louisiana. I've known Dawn her entire life, and when we grew up, she went her way, I went mine, and then 1999, 2000, we were together again. Anyway, with that said, that's where we were born and raised. Both of us born and raised Marrero, Louisiana. Fact number 2. I got my first guitar at the young age of 8 years old. Here's what's left to it. I've been in the market to try and find somebody to restore it. I do care about how much I need to pay to get it restored, but this is something I want done. This is my first guitar at the age 8. My second guitar is in storage, and it's an electric. I got that at the age of 10, and it's a Marquis electric guitar. Alright, fact. I got my first gun, 410, at the age of 9 years old. Here it is. Me and my oldest brother got one the same Christmas. It's a 410 shotgun. Mossberg 410 bolt action, holds 3 shells, shotgun, at the age of 9 years old. Now I guess you want me to tell a year this was. I might as well tell you the year I was born. I was born in 1956. I'm 60 years old. I'm not ashamed of it. Still get around pretty good for an old dude. My first gun, y'all. My first one. Matter of fact, this very gun, I almost shot myself with it. That's a little story I'm going to tell you. I'm giving you the facts. So here's a fact. I almost shot myself with this gun. First big mistake I did was I went hunting one day, probably at age 10 or 11, in the woods behind a house without my older brother, Don. He passed away 2 years ago. Not even 2 years ago yet. October will be 2 years. Anyway, my first big mistake was going without him. The big mistake, I was putting the gun, I was standing it up by a tree, and a twig caught, I didn't have the safety on. The twig caught the trigger, and when I was setting it down, well, it was right in front of me. I put it down and the twig caught, pow! I didn't tell Mom and Dad that story until I was much older. I knew it would happen if I did. Fact. You want facts, you're going to get them. Alright. I have other shotguns that I've collected over the years. But this was my first. Alright, fact. This is both Dawn and I, second marriage. Like I said a little while ago, when we grew up, She went her way, I went mine. I've known her whole life. I'm 6 years older than her. And between us we have 8 children. And between us we have 13 grandchildren. And Lord forgive me, I hope I'm not wrong about the 13 number of the grandchildren. I think that's correct, y'all. Don't hold it against me if I'm 1 or 2 off. I'm an old man. Anyway, that's between Dawn and I. Alright, my chosen profession, as some of you know that have been keeping up with my videos, is law enforcement. Right now, I retired in Louisiana with 35. Moved out here with no intentions at all of going back to work. But I was out here for about a year. We traveled quite a bit, and then I decided I wanted to go back part-time. So I went and saw a friend of mine who is the sheriff here in the county, or chief deputy, and he talked me into full-time. Lo and behold, I'm back to work full-time. I'm in my 39th year, y'all. Yeah, I'm in my 39th year. In January 25th, 2018 will be 40. How many of you are 40 years old? Unreal. I guess I have rocks in my head, but keeps me busy. I still know the job, I still enjoy the job, I still love what I do. To me, it's the best profession in the world. Now, will I make my 40 in January? I don't know. Do I want to? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. It's day to day by me. For me, it's day to day. Some days I feel, oh man, I'm done. Some days I feel, man, let's go. Let's get it done, yo. That's how I feel. But I do know this. I don't have to go 40 if I don't want to. I got a great retirement. So, that's a fact. I don't know, how many was that? 5, 6? I don't know. Who's counting, right? The highlight of my career, I was a graduate. I'm a graduate of the FBI National Academy, the 173rd session in 1993. We graduated June 18, 1993. Got there April 1st, 1993. Graduated June 18, 1993. Proud graduate of the FBI National Academy, the 173rd session. Anyway, let's go to my next facts. Follow me. Alright guys, my very first car at the age of 15 years old, given to me by my dad, was a 1964 Mercury Comet. 4-door, 3 on a tree, straight 6. Nothing special. It was a good car though. It's my first car. Over the years I wanted to bring back my youth, so I started looking high and low. Couldn't find a 4-door 1964 Mercury Comet close by. I did find a couple, but most of them were either far away or they were asking too much, more than I can afford. So I found this probably about 5 years ago on Craigslist. Guy was going to bring it to the crusher if he didn't get $700 for it. I went to see him. He was in Louisiana. And I offered him $400. He took it. Had a friend of mine who owned a record bring it 40 miles down the road to my house. I'm going to get this accomplished. My bucket list is so long. Anyway, before I close my eyes, I want this done. This is a dream. This is a dream of mine to get my car restored. And I'm only sorry it is not my original car, but this will do it. I have everything here, all the chrome, everything's here. All I need is to get it restored. So, that's another fact. Alright guys, another fact. Y'all know my chosen profession was law enforcement. I had another profession other than that like a profession. It was a lot of fun for me. I chose music. Followed in my father's footsteps. And music, you know, as I spoke about a little earlier, second or third fact that I gave you was my music, my first guitar. Sat around with my dad at the kitchen table, learned how to play guitar at the age of 8 years old, 9, 10, 11, 12, probably at the age of 13 or 14 I got my first bass guitar, and he taught me that as well. And by the age 14 to 15, probably 15, closer to 15, I was his bass player. And sometimes I was able to play certain clubs, bars, whatever you want to call them, but I could not leave the bandstand because of my age. So my dad got me in there, and I can name quite a few bars that I played in before I was at the legal age of 18 to go to bars. Of course, back then was 18 years old. So anyway, I was my dad's bass player. Oh my God, 35 years. And he was a popular Louisiana musician, Cajun music, French, traditional country. And his band was the Delta Boys Cajun Band, and I was his bass player. Anyway, did that 35 years with him, and have a picture. You can see it. Me right here on the right, my dad next to me, Billy Joe next to him, and Clancy next to him. There's two that's not pictured in here, but this is four of us, and I'm very proud of this show. I hope you can see it. If not, I'm going to take another picture and attach it to this video because it means a lot. This is a fact. I'm a bass player, and this is what I did with the Delta Boys Cajun Band. I'm the only one left, me. And they're all gone. But I grew up with all these guys right here, and more. So, it's not a fact of my life. Sounds more like bragging to me, but you know what? I'm very proud of it. I don't care. It can be bragging, if that's what it is. But it's a fact. And at the age of, right after Hurricane Katrina, my father had, I was contacted by a guy with Whitesnake. Anyway, they were doing a live radio thing in Alabama, and he wanted the band to come over here. This was 2006, about a year after Hurricane Katrina, and wanted us to do 2 songs on this live radio show, and he was getting bands from all over the United States to come and participate, and Delta Boys Cajun Band was one of the few that were chosen. So we didn't make it. We rehearsed for it, we did what we had to do for it, but my dad ended up having a stroke, a mild stroke, and that killed that. So it is what it is, you know. And the stroke left my dad where he didn't have a good, he has a beautiful voice, don't get me wrong. He was off, his timing was off. So he could not play music anymore, so he hounded me to start another band. Hounded me, so I did. And I felt very strange doing it because I was standing on his right for 35 years on that stage. And I was his bass player. Well, anyway, I did start another band called Louisiana Roadhouse. Google it, YouTube, whatever. You'll find some information on it. There's, you will, Delta Boys Cajun Band. And we played from, wow, he was the money behind my band. And we put it together, and we put together some big shows, big stages. And we did a lot. So, and that lasted for me until I going to get to this fact in a few minutes. Blinded myself from my left eye here. Well, anyway, that was my music life. So, another fact. Alright, fact, we moved out here 2014, and I wanted to live in the country on a homestead, and I did. I moved out here. I was working on my chicken coop, which is on the west side of the barn, and trying to get a nail out of a piece of rusty metal wouldn't come out because I had to put a 2x4 there to mount my tin wall, and the nail just wouldn't come out. My wife, Dawn, is holding the ladder. I tried to knock the nail out, wouldn't come out, so I tried clawing it out with a claw hammer, wouldn't come out, so I tapped on it with the hammer. The head of the nail broke off, bounced off the pipe, and punctured my left eye. Had emergency surgery that night. I was immediately blinded. My left eye, totally, no sight at all. They did emergency surgery that night, 18 stitches in my eyeball. 4 days later, they did a cornea transplant. 2 days later, I had a little bit sight. Not much, and it's still not much. I've had 3 surgeries since, and I'm done, no more. Anyway, I did not get back to Louisiana Roadhouse after that. The band kind of went their separate ways, and it's done, you know. It's just a part of my life, big part of my life. So my wife promises me that I'll build a studio right back out here, and I'll get back into my music. That's what she wants, and that's what I'm gonna do. Love music. So, another fact. Y'all have the big facts in my life now. Everything big. So, homesteading. Alright, fact. Homesteading. I love, just like I heard in Scott Diversified Homestead, 30 facts of his life about them. He loves homesteading. Well, I love homesteading. I love everything about homesteading. Everything. I love picking my blueberries. Part of my homestead, they'll be out in June. I love picking blackberries. I love growing my own vegetables. I love raising my chickens. Come here, boy. I love cutting grass on a homestead. I love building things. I love doing it myself. Can you help you down? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Come on. Come on. Hold it down. All right. Ow, boy. All right, y'all. We're back. We're gonna finish the 30 facts about us challenge. Dawn's feeling a little bit better. She's out with me. She's gonna help me finish this thing. And so to continue on, my favorite holiday, my favorite holiday of the year is Christmas. I was born in December. Christmas has always been my favorite holiday, and I just love the family time and the gatherings and, of course, the Christmas gifts. I'm like a big child, to one thing. But anyway, I love Christmas.
I love being out here on our farm, homestead, little area here. It's very peaceful, away from the traffic, the noise, away from the city life.
Okay, fact. At a younger age, I had a small monkey, marmoset, I think is what they were called. Had him inside. He was in a nice 6-foot cage, 4 foot wide, maybe 2 foot deep. And it was sweet. I could carry him in my pocket. One day I came home and on his little water bottle, or juice bottle. I had apple juice in the bottle for him. Now, I noticed the dripping at the bottom of the cage. I noticed some little black sugar ants, I think is what they're called. And not knowing any better, I sprayed a little bit Raid at the bottom of this cage, and it killed my monkey. But it's a fact. I made a mistake, and I killed my baby monkey.
I love cooking and trying new recipes. Barbecue is my favorite time. Well, summer is the favorite time because I get to go outside and barbecue a lot. And I guess my favorite holiday would be Thanksgiving. Also born in November. Just a lot of food. So I guess Thanksgiving would be my favorite year.
And it's also another time, especially when Dad was alive and
Yeah.
we had a lot of family around.
Yeah.
Every Thanksgiving would be family time.
Yep.
And actually, we still do it. We still have family that comes around. Unfortunately, we have kids in New Jersey, and doesn't make it possible. But if ever we get the opportunity, we go up there like we did one Christmas. Waiting for them to come down here, though, is a different story. All right. Fact. I love fishing. Fishing is a favorite pastime of mine. Haven't been in a while, but I'm staying busy here. But when I do go fishing, it is my favorite pastime. And Dawn likes to be there because she just likes being on a boat.
Yeah.
She's not necessarily a fisher, but she just loves the boat rides and being there.
Okay. I love being a mommy and a stepmom. I get along with all the kids, and in our house, it's not your kids and my kids, it's our kids. That's just the way it is, and they know it, we know it, and we're just one happy family.
And I feel the same way. The kids are ours. There's no yours or mine. We treat them all the same. And if one needs, we help. Doesn't matter who it is. If we can help. All right. Fact. I should have put this right after my favorite holiday, being Christmas. But my favorite Christmas movies are It's a Wonderful Life, James Stewart. And don't laugh. My second favorite Christmas movie is, anybody want to guess? All right, I'll tell you. Home Alone. Macaulay Culkin. It's true.
Well, I guess if you want to talk about whose favorite movie, mine would have to be Armageddon. I don't know, just something about that movie I like. It's not that I'm a weirdo or I'm a scientist or I'm scientific, or it's just the movie itself.
And I got to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever seen Armageddon. I never heard of it. And maybe if I did, I wasn't that important
Bruce
to me.
Willis was in it. And you saw it one time with me, but I don't think, you really didn't care for it, so.
Okay. I come from a large family. I'm six siblings. One died right after birth. I have 5 brothers. He would be 6. There's Jerry. Don. Don's also gone a year and a half ago now. August will be 2 years. I think earlier I said he passed away in October. I was wrong. That was my dad. Nick, Albert, Sandy, and me. And we have one sister, Glenda. And my mom, of course. You know, I lost my mom in 2001, 2 weeks before 9/11.
I come from a large family also. We had 7 in our family. We had 3 boys and 4 girls from the same mom and dad. My dad passed away in '73. 2 years later, actually, let me back up a minute. My mother was pregnant when my dad passed, and he died thinking she was carrying twins, but it was the last girl. Her name's Shauna. We lost my older brother, my older sister, and my brother that was before me. There's 4 of us left. 2 live in California, 1 in Texas, and I live here in Mississippi. My mom did remarried, and we just became, one family.
Okay. Fact. I don't have any more facts. Okay. This is for both Dawn and I. We love when I'm home and off, don't have to work, and so we can spend that time here on the homestead and with our animals. And of course, our pride and joy here on the homestead is Max and Dakota, our dogs. They are our pride and joy. They are our children.
Babies.
They're our children.
Yeah, they're our babies.
And they're very loyal to us, and that is our pride and joy.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, I started driving at the age of 15. My first car was a Ford Torino. It was a 76, two-door blue, and looking back, it's like, you know, you have these cars, when you have them, you're thinking, I really don't care for this car, but as you get older, you think, wow, if I had that first car. So.
Okay, fact. I kind of grew up in a homestead type life. My dad loved gardening. He raised chickens. He raised quail. And he hunted for food, trapped. My dad was a trapper. He's a carver. That's coming up. And but we kind of did everything. He whatever vegetable you can name, he grew it. From beans to corn to tomatoes, cucumbers, squash, eggplant, whatever. So I grew up basically like a homestead life. And Dawn's stepfather, also had a large garden every year. I think she wanted to say that, but she forgot.
Yeah, I did. I mean, where in Marrero, where he lived at, before they built this Dollar General, it was nothing but empty lot, and he would go grow corn, tomatoes, cucumbers, you name it, and he did it. So it was a nice, beautiful garden.
All right, next fact is for Dawn and I. We love walking this property. I've thought about, and I'm still thinking about, buying a mule, a Kawasaki mule or something to get around, but I kind of like the walking. I feel if I get one of those, I know I can use it to do a lot of stuff around fence posts and stuff like that, but if I get too used to it, I may not want to walk as much, and I need to stay. Part of me makes me move. I have to move every day. I can't just sit still. So, but anyway, one day I will get my Kawasaki mule.
Fact, we hate when it rains, because that means we can't go outside and enjoy our property, or our doggies, or our goats, or our chickens, or Jack.
And sometimes you'd swear we live in Seattle.
Yeah.
It rains so
When
much.
it rains, it rains.
Just see, I know it's not that much, but it seems like it because I hate rain.
Yes.
Even though we need it sometime, I hate it.
Yes. Another fact, I hate snakes. So far, we've been here 3 years, and I only come across 2. Carl came across one day. Actually, Max was nose to face with the snake, and I was at work, thank goodness. But the first encounter was before the house was even built. We was walking along a street up there, and there was this white snake, and I thought he was dead, and I went to cross over, and he hissed at me, and I was like, that's it, I don't want to move here. And then another time was maybe like a year later, walking to get the mail. There was a snake with like little triangles on his back, and I was like, okay, you stay where you are, and I'll go the other way. So snakes are not my friend.
Dakota just reminded me when she started barking. This is a fact. If she runs up to a tree and starts looking up and starts barking, even though Max doesn't see anything, he's going to run up there and start barking too, because they know there's a squirrel up in that tree. and a lot of times one doesn't see it, but if the other one does, they'll just run up to that tree and start barking at the squirrel. They came home one day with a baby pig they killed in the woods.
Yep.
On the west side, we have a lot of wooded acreage, and they went over there and killed a pig and brought it home.
Like to say, here's my trophy.
Another fact we want to add about them is one night we came home, and coming down the street, we can just smell this dead skunk.
Yes.
And all we can think of is, Lord, I hope it's not them that got a hold to it. Well, it was.
Yeah. Tomato juice bad.
Tomato juice bad. And it seemed like it never helped.
No.
It never helped. But they both got sprayed by this skunk.
Yes.
I'm sure the skunk paid the ultimate price.
Oh, yes.
But we paid for it for about a week.
Yes. Yeah. And talking about Dakota Mac, those two are definitely inseparable. Where she goes, he goes. Where he goes, she goes. And I'm sure you might have heard or saw a video where Carl had posted that our baby girl got hit by a car. Actually, it was our mail lady. And when Max came around and saw she wasn't feeling good, he kind of like wanted to attack the mail lady because she wanted to see what's going on. So they're inseparable. I mean, we got good dogs. We love them to death. It was just a trifle day that day.
It was. And fact is, everybody knows, a few weeks ago I posted a thing about duck decoys. Carving, my brother, and me buying one of his at an auction. He passed away about a year and a half. It's going to be 2 years in August. That's it. October, but it's August. Anyway, fact is, yeah, I do collect hand-carved wood decoys. I carve decoys. My father carved decoys. My brother, another brother, uncles. Anyway, a Louisiana thing, I guess. And I've also got a sizable collection of anywhere between 80 and 100 decoys that I've collected over the years from all over. Anyway, it's a fact. This is some of the decoys. This is mine. Another one of mine. Actually, a stand here with a little carved decoy. I don't know if you can see it, but let me show you. This was carved by my brother, this little bitty decoy, and he made this stand. My other brother, Al, carved this dove. He's got a few ducks, but I don't think I have any of his duck decoys. These birds, the blue jay, the cardinal. Anyway, my dad's duck, my uncle's duck from Golden Meadow, Louisiana. My dad's duck. Anyway, fact, I carve decoys, collect decoys, and enjoy it. So let's get to calling out our 5 challenges. And it took me a little bit to, I'm not sure if any of these people were challenged before, but we're going to call them out anyway. Worm Gitter, Old Duke, out of Louisiana. Old Duke's in of course, his channel is Worm Gitter. He's into gardening, raising rabbits, breeding rabbits, chickens, and of course his pig, Hambone. Old Duke's got a good site, good channel. Go and check him out sometime if you haven't already done so. Also, I'd like to challenge PJ at Grace Hallow Rabbitry out of Arkansas, I believe. Grace has a good channel and she breeds rabbits and does a lot of shows. Joe at St. Bernard Acres. Joe, I don't know if you've been called out, but I'm challenging you to do the 30 fact challenge. Joe, I believe, is somewhere around Wheeling, West Virginia. And his channel is St. Bernard Acres. And I think he calls it St. Bernard Acres because he has St. Bernard dogs. Minuteman Homestead. Minuteman Homestead has a good site. He does a lot of gardening and stuff like that. And focusing on self-sustaining and living and stuff like that. Anyway, check out Minuteman Homestead site, channel. He has a good channel, good videos. And there's one more from Chile Expat Family Homestead. They are from the United States and ended up in Chile on their homestead. I'm not sure if it's North Carolina, South Carolina, but I know it's the East Coast somewhere. Anyway, they have a good channel also. Check them out. Anyway, it's Carl and Dawn at Carl and Dawn's Homestead. I don't know if you can see her. She's sitting right here. She is outside today. And thanks for watching. Check out these channels and press that like button, comment, and also don't forget subscribe. I'm out, y'all.